Welcome to No Set Definition. This podcast where success has no single meaning. You define it, you set it, and you call it.
Because success, let's face it, is not a one size fits all. It changes, evolves, and it looks different for everyone.
And on this amazing show, we don't tell you what success should be. You tell us what success means to you. Everyone is a little different and everyone has their own success.
That's why there's no set definition, because we ask people to share what success means to them in their own words through their own experiences.
So let's begin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of No Set Definition, where we explore and celebrate your version of success. And today, we have an amazing guest and good friend, Mr. Kevin Jiang, who is the CEO of a investment fund where he makes complex decisions makes really easy. But at home, he is a father and he's a husband. And I'm pretty sure if you're a CEO at work, you're not the CEO at home. So we'll explore that a little bit more. And so, Kevin, I'll just send it to your way where you can give an introduction of yourself.
Sure. Thank you, Alex. And thank you, Jennifer. It's a pleasure for me to be here today to have a great conversation with you guys about, some philosophies, life in general. I'm Kevin. I've worked in the finance industry for pretty much the entirety of my career. I've used to be a trader, a portfolio manager, and now I'm running a small investment firm, running funds and strategies, dealing with markets and uncertainties. It's a lot of fun. And then in my free time, I like to, enjoy Vancouver as much as I can. Enjoy nature, enjoy sports, and try to be healthy and live a long life.
That was great. I really like that answer. And happiness, as we've explored on this podcast, is what a lot of people consider success. But without thinking of the dictionary term, what do you think is success? What is Kevin's version of success?
Everybody has their own version of success. For me, I just want to have the things that I want. For example, I want to be healthy. If I'm healthy, 10 years from now, if I'm still running around playing sports, I consider that a huge success, right? I want my kids to be healthy and happy. So when I take them somewhere, I see their eyes glow up because, what they're doing is a great activity. That to me is success, right? Same thing goes with my family. Same thing goes with my work, right? Like my clients, they have their goals. So when I see their goals being met, that it's success to me. So I guess success can simply be defined as getting what you want out of life. And everybody wants something different. So success is going to be different for everyone.
I wanted to follow up on your questions because you and I, we met each other in the capital markets and through work and through, just Vancouver is a very small place. And you mentioned a lot about getting healthy and being their presence at work and at home. Just curious, what is your regime for exercise for health? Like I mountain bike. I'm a horrible golfer, but I mainly mountain bike. I play badminton and I try to do a run here and there. But like, what do you do to keep yourself healthy?
Well, I try to be active. So I play sports or try to be outside, right? I try to follow a circadian rhythm. So sunlight in the morning as early as you can. Get up early, get lots of sleep, drink lots of water. It's like everybody knows, like these are the things that you have to do. Stay away from drugs. You just kind of have to stick with them. And once in a while, I like to have a beer here and there. Right? I'm not too bothered if I, I have a little drink just to have a good time. Not too bothered with it, right? If I want to, if I want sweets, if I want to, have a cheat meal, yeah, so be it. I guess the biggest thing for me is I'm trying to be happy, right? And then from there, just have like a healthy lifestyle, which I think like most people in Vancouver are,
And you are still a young guy, but back in the day when young Kevin graduated from high school and decided to set on his path in finance, what do you think at that point in time was Kevin's idea of success? And do you think it still matches your idea of success today?
I think so. Yeah. That's a great question. I do think back about on that on back in those days a lot. Um, I think at the time I just had like very small goals, small objectives. It could be um, passing a professional exam, right? Yeah, it could be learning about the industry, right? It's like from an investment perspective, learning like before the age of AI, research was kind of difficult. You have to do a lot of reading, talk to a lot of people. So yeah, so I had a lot of networking, right? Meeting new friends, open more doors, or even like coming up with the next objective was a challenge because sometimes you don't know what you want in life and you're kind of confused a little bit for a while. And then you do some thinking, you do some digging around, and then oh, this is what I want to do, right? This is where I want to live. This is the person I want to marry. This is the lifestyle that I want to have. You just go from there, and yeah, and before you know it, right? Like one thing leads to another, and life goes on. Time passes by really, really quickly.
So one thing that I always find quite interesting in the corporate world is you work in the corporate world for most of your life as a bond trader. And then from there, you move on to manage your own investment fund. So as an entrepreneur, was that leap difficult decision to make, or like how do you make that decision?
Yeah, it's definitely a leap. But to some people in my industry, that's also like one viable path of a natural career progression. Uh, Institutions, I would say, like it's very hard to keep good traders because they're gonna want something for themselves. Um, uh, yeah, so yeah, like it definitely it's a challenge. But yeah, it's one of my like dreams. Maybe 10, 15 years ago. I'm really excited that it's becoming a reality now.
I think there's a lot of misconception around trading. Can you tell us, for people that are maybe not like myself, like I understand trade, like I think everyone just thinks you trade money and then you like live on a yacht and that's it, but obviously it's not like that. Can you give us a little like example of what trading is?
Sure, yeah, there are different types of trading. So from an institutional world, there are market makers in which you're just kind of providing liquidity to the market. So if somebody wants to buy, you're there to sell, and at the same time, if somebody wants to sell, you're there to buy, right? Like there are institutions compete with each other on the liquidity business. So that kind of maintains the integrity of the overall capital market. So they play a huge role in that. And in the practice, institutions also try to make money for themselves through like small margins, frequent trading. So that's one aspect of it. I did that for a large part of my career. So in order to do that and to do that well, you need a good understanding of the market conditions that you're trading. You will use different tools. You learn different techniques to help you kind of manage risks and generate profits. And later on, when I became a portfolio manager, um, you are no longer providing liquidity for the market. You are trying to, like you're still trying to make money, but you are, trying to position yourselves. You're trying to catch momentum. You're trying to buy good assets on the cheap and sell, sell when prices, elevated. And you're trying to, profit from the movement of capital markets.
I
Uh,
like what you said there, though, is you have to learn the tools. And I think that is something that a lot of people don't realize. when you want to be successful in a lot of industries. You have to learn the tools to make success happen for yourself, for your clients. And that's something right now in this world with AI and all these different apps. They make it sound like, oh, you can trade money right now and you can live the high life. And it's like, it's not that easy. You got to go to people like Kevin that understand and have taken time to learn this. And I think that's the problem with our culture now, especially with all these AI tools. And we've seen some unfortunate things in the news of people that use these apps, did it, lost their money, and it was not as easy. Do you fear more for AI trying to take you out, or?
No, actually, one thing that AI is actually not very good at is making investment decisions. A while ago, a few months ago, there was somebody put a arena, like a trading arena, and pitted like a few AI models against each other. Like I think 4 out of 5 models lost money. Like OpenAI lost like 60%, like in like a month. So yeah, well, and it has to do with how AI is built, right? AI, as we know it, is a large language model. He kind of he takes in everything he reads and he tries to understand them, right? And then tries to make predictions, right? Do analysis. But in the real world, a lot of the things that you read are just narratives, stories, right? Stories to kind of fool you the other way. And AI has a very, very difficult time. But one thing AI is very, very, very good at is coding and quantitative analysis. So that's where institutions are competing, is by leveraging AI. It is the same as having 100 math PhDs working for you 24/7. So that is really the biggest edge institutions are gaining right now with the proliferation of AI.
You can't replace a true investment guru, right? Whether it is investments or whether it's relationship. I mean, there's always where relationship matters and always a role that we can actually do. One thing that I do want to touch base is with AI, and then Kevin, especially if you run a financial institution or run an investment fund or run a company, people always shy away from, let's say, getting help or getting AIs and to help with the running of it. And as a leader, like I myself, a leader, you're yourself a leader, I'm just really curious to hear from your perspective, what makes a successful leader in your eyes?
Getting the job done.
What does that mean, Kevin? What?
Yeah, so whatever that means is like so every leader is working with a finite amount of resources, budget, time, employees, and you have objective to accomplish. And often that objective is difficult, is challenging, and that's why, right, like you are put in that position. Yeah, and then you just got to do whatever it takes, right? Whether for some people that means micromanaging their employees, to some other people it means like being inspirational, right? Lead by example, and not like micromanage too much. So it really depends. Like it really depends, but ultimately the benchmark is getting the job done, whatever the job is.
What do you see as success for your employees? Because obviously, as a great leader, you want to make sure your employees are successful. So, what do your view of success for them?
Would ask them, right? Like, so for younger guys, success could mean learning a lot of new things, right? Maybe perhaps, take a little bit less money, right? At a younger, like, and we're not talking about too much, right? Like yet, like entry level positions. You're not talking
What,
about.
you're not on a yacht in their entry level position? That's what I thought. I saw that on TikTok. What are you
We're not
talking
in
about?
Dubai. We're not in Dubai or
Well,
Switzerland,
here,
okay?
here's the fact. Like
Canada,
the
Vancouver.
top quant firms on Wall Street pay their interns 10 grand a month.
What? Can
That's a yacht.
I
That's a yacht
please?
salary.
They pay them 10 grand a month, but they work them hard. Yeah. But yeah, like, but even for those people, right? Even when you're making that much money, like coming out of school, or not even, or still while still in school, um, I think the priority for the definition of success is, how do I learn more? Because if I get a 20% raise, like for those guys, that's only, like $2,000 a month. What is that like for somebody making 100 grand or 200 grand a year, right? But the skills that they learn, the people that they work with, will open so many doors for them in the future.
Here's my
Um,
question to
mhm.
you, because and from the outside, a lot of people will see investment banker, investment firm as, this individual who makes a ton of money. And just you mentioned, it requires a lot of hours, right? As in the beginning, as a young chap, you can put a lot of hours because you're single, you're young, you have lots of energy, you have lots of time, and you're just very passionate about. But as you grow older, you really trade your time for money, right? And but as you go to, you try to work smarter, you get bigger check and all that
Well,
stuff.
you're also tired because you're
It's
older.
higher. You get older, you get tired. No idea. So I'm just curious because you are very you run on a very successful investment fund. You also a father. You also a father. You're also a husband. How do you balance life between family life and CEO life, and and being there, present for your family and your company?
Mhm. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, especially when you're in the moment. Like sometimes you really got to get to a meeting, but then your kid is, let's say, you know, uh, she has a doctor's appointment for, some, like, small problem, right? Like she's got a fever. You got to take her to the hospital. But
That's a big
like,
problem. That's a big
That's a
problem.
big problem.
That's a big problem.
yeah, and then you take them to the hospital, and then the nurses give them something. They're back on their feet in like 30 minutes. But then you've just kind of missed your entire day because it's one small episode. Yeah, like it's really, really hard in the moment. And I try to be there for them, right, when it's in the moment. But then there's also, the higher level, like, of the big picture of things, right? So imagine, like, like if your kid, when your kid is, 30, right? Like, what would he rather have, right? A couple extra birthday parties, or you giving them, like an extra $1 million for
So what
for
should he give
allowance,
his kid?
right?
Jennifer, that's what Jennifer said.
I'm learning that we were in the wrong career, and I was like, okay, $10,000 a month sounds good.
Yeah, it's
For
yeah,
entry level, I don't know.
for
I think that's a
interns, for interns.
Interns, not even
interns.
entry level, it's interns.
Holy
Yeah.
no. I don't know
Is
what
that
to tell you what
strong?
my first job was. And definitely not that big. But that's an interesting concept too, is like a lot of younger people want work-life balance, which is great. But do you really think you can be successful at gaining work-life balance if you want to make the money that you can? Because like you said, those interns are run ragged. But a lot of young people to be the intern, and I'm hearing this from young people, is like, well, I don't want to do that, but I want the money and they're not willing to do that. So, like, can
Mhm.
you still be successful?
And not
Of
put in the
course.
hard work.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
goal,
Well, I
right?
don't know. This is the
Yeah,
question
yeah.
I'm proposing for
okay,
everyone.
okay.
Mhm.
You, Alex, Kevin, this is our discussion.
Okay, if I have a few friends that are like in incredible shape, right? They're like my age or maybe older. They're in incredible shape, walking around with six packs. And if I were to ask them, like, hey, like, can I also get a six pack without putting in the work? They'll just laugh in my face. It's
Actually, can I challenge you on that, Kevin? So I used to work with investment counselor, and he was a triathlete. He's just a very handsome 6'3", amazing gentleman with a six
Mhm,
pack. But he
mhm.
trains almost every single day.
Exactly,
Back then, he's also
exactly,
single. Just FYI.
exactly. So if you want something, whatever it is, whether it's a six pack or a good career, you're gonna work for it. Like, work life.
Thank you. But a lot of people, like I am hearing this from me, is they're starting to criticize I know us millennials aren't really in that bracket, but we've worked hard to, all three of us have worked hard to get where we are. And but there's a talk about like, well, we don't want to be like the boomers or whatever and work hard, but we want the money. And I'm like, well, but can you not, like, it's an interesting conversation because it ties into success. It's like, can we still work hard and earn the money, but maybe not work as hard as being run ragged and still be successful? I don't know. I don't.
Can we work smart instead of working hard, right? Because
Well,
Kevin mentioned
well,
AI can help a lot, right? Or just other
Yeah.
pathways can help a lot
Yeah.
as well.
Yes, we can definitely work smart. So in most jobs, right, like any type of white collar job or even blue collar jobs, whatever job, thinking is part of working, right? You could be staring at outside your window, but there could be a storm going on in your mind, and you're still working. And all that time and effort that you put in thinking will help you with your achieving your objectives at work. So working hard doesn't mean that you're, like imprisoned in your cubicle 20 hours a day. But you got to be thoughtful, right? On strategy, on methodology, on learning, right? To make yourself better. Same thing with workout, right? Like if you want to be a top shape, like in shape person, you don't run every waking moment like you have, right? You run, hydrate, nutrition, and rest, and you do everything very thoughtfully, and that's how you get healthy. That's how you get in good shape. Same thing with work. The
That's
effort.
funny thing. People are like, oh, well, I just want time to like work out. And it's like, well, that's still work. Why do you think it's called workout? So really, you're not really escaping it. Like you said, if you want to, you know, earn your fitness, like I still have to do it every day. Do I like doing it every day? No, but again, I feel like it's no different than planting a plant. People see that as a leisure activity,
Mm-hmm.
which it is. But, just because you put a seed in the dirt doesn't mean you can walk away from it. You still have to tend to it. You got to water it. Takes time, patience. It grows. Like, and that's the thing that I just find we're getting so backwards now. And that's why I was like, I know people just want AI to do it all for them and like lie on a beach and then like have money. And that sounds fantastic, but is that really realistic? And you would probably be bored. And also the AIs would probably kill us because once they learn how to do that, do you really think they're going to let us just chill on a beach while they're slaving away? I don't think so. They probably even have their own union. Anyways.
Yeah, they'll rent our brain from us as GPU, and in exchange, they'll give us bread.
But
Uh,
I have a question for you because you're a workaholic, I mean, or somewhat workaholic. Do you ever stop and just turn off that CEO workaholic mode and go back to like husband and father mode? Like, how do you turn that off or turn that ever off?
I remember like thinking back to my own childhood. Like I don't remember too many things, but there are certain pieces of core memories that I share with my parents that have, forged our relationship, like for life, at least for me. And they probably have similar moments. Um, so I try to have like my focus with my family is I'm trying to build as many core memories as possible for them and also for myself. And I try to record as much of that as I can, right? Like with, and um, share with them, right? So like this is actually one fun game that we play at home. So I have two daughters. They're kind of similar in age, and they look very much alike when they were young. So we would do this game. We would put like a trivia. We would put like a picture of baby picture of them on the screen, and we're all gonna guess who this picture was. And often they get it wrong
Oh, really?
because they're so much alike, and then they wear the same clothes, right? Because it's all hand-me-downs. um, and a lot of those pictures, like you think because you look at them, right? Like the memory becomes enforced, and then you really form the core memories. So yeah, like it's not about how much time you're spending with them. That's very important too.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, but yeah, like what you can take away from them, right? Because ultimately they're gonna grow up, right? They're gonna only spend a few years in their infancy or childhood, and 80% of your time, of our lives are spent as adults.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. And before we go, we were off camera when Alex talked about it, but she said you had a dream we were going to explore. And I
Yes.
said, is your dream to be on a podcast? Because then you just achieved it with us. But apparently it's a bit more of a juicier dream. So I want to hear about this before we wrap up.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, this is a very uh, a very unique experience for myself. Um, so one day out of nowhere, I just had this weird dream. In my dream, the doctor told me that I had only had a certain amount of time to live, but I could, you know, do whatever I wanted with the time that I had remaining. Um, and in the dream, my decision was very easy. Like, okay, let's just chill at home, spend time with my family, right? And that, like and when I woke up, right, that just kind of, I reflected on that a lot. So nowadays, every time my young kids, when they throw a tantrum, right, when they get me impatient, when they get me irritated, I think about that dream, right? Um, if I were to send to the front lines to die in a war tomorrow, what would I do today? If I would spend time with them. Spouse.
Like,
Kevin 2.0.
Uh, World War II hasn't even started. And you know how rough China had it during World War II. Um, but well,
Exactly. Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you so much for being part of our podcast, Kevin. And we made your dream come true. Okay. For being on the podcast. Such a
Absolutely.
privilege to make that happen. Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. My pleasure. Okay. All right. Thank you.
great conversations like this remind us why this podcast exists. Because let's face it, there's really no set definition of success.
And it's really your path, your timing, and really your vision.
If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it.
Make sure to follow No Set Definition wherever you listen to podcasts.
Until next time.
Thank you.